over there?
250 a month.
Excuse me, guys.
And how many units are over there?
48.
That don't give you a whole lot.
Excuse me?
That don't give you a whole lot for maintaining, plowing, and, even if you.
Just
need-
lawn care is
A new roof.
3,300 a month.
The roof isn't gonna take care of,
We just had 2 roofs put in. We've had drainage problems because they use really cheap footer drains.
yeah.
And they're starting to collapse and basements were starting to get wet. So we put a lot of money into drainage the last couple of years.
Cause, with the small
Body.
48, excuse me, 48,
Getting
you
ready,
really
baby.
can't bank it down on North River, they have.
I'll bring it down to the median age. I just brought.
On North River, they have it right across from Shepherd of the Valley. There's probably 400 places there. The guy was kind of a genius in a way. He put duplexes and went up on top. So, I mean, there's 4plexes, 6plexes, villas. But with that amount and what they pay in association fees, is able to repave the roads, reside the houses
Right.
and stuff like that. Where they've been in Dayton, Ohio, and they've had, excuse me, somewhere in your area as far as amount of occupancy, and there's just not enough funds to build up the.
Plus, we're all like,
Yeah,
you know,
looking at them roofs getting older and older, gonna be
Right.
replaced, and that's the association's
Right.
responsibility. Anything outside is their bailiwick, and
right.
now you're up against, I mean, it looked good at the beginning, but
The other thing is if they have someone else who's, like, does all of Champions, our road department doesn't put roads in, right? If they contract that out, or,
well, the developer will put the road in, and it'll go through the county, then we'd have to accept it once they approve it.
I think that's what Sean was doing, was checking to see if those roads from county back.
So I tell you,
as far as I know, nothing's been done since Diane
I
talked.
will check with him now.
So we were, when Diane came over, we were, checking to see if the roads, number one, were put into county spec or not. If they weren't put into county spec, then we can't accept them because.
I heard the Bluffs tried the same thing years ago,
Yeah.
but their drains are in the road, ours are alongside the road,
Yeah, so-
catch basins and stuff.
I never, I don't recall ever hearing back from Sean, so that's the first step, is to do an inspection to see if the roads are acceptable to start with, before we can even talk about accepting them. If they're not acceptable, then we can't, we can't
Is
accept.
there any
those.
kind of timeline that you would know, not
would
until they
think
get
that-
accepted or
I
whatever?
would think the
right?
study would be done, it's been a year, so,
And we need to go ahead and get them sealed again this year. then.
yeah. So let's, talk to Sean, you're gonna see him tomorrow, right?
I wouldn't think anything would happen within a year's
Not
time,
in the
so
next
I would
couple
plan
days,
on
weeks.
getting them sealed.
Okay. The other thing, when I went to see where the meeting was, I went online, and it still says it's up at the Township
Really?
Really?
Hall, yeah.
Where did you go online at?
At my house.
What, do you know what
Champion
website?
Township, had,
Good answer.
6 different things you could go to, and it said meetings, and I went on meetings.
That's great.
Township meeting was 11 something Center Street, or, Champion Center.
Sorry about that.
So I went up there, nobody's there.
We'll try to get that updated.
So I saw cars out here, I don't know what's going on over at the high
We
school.
try to do that just,
Here we are.
we try to do that just to keep the crowd down.
Work.
There should have been a sign even on the bulletin board at the 149 building saying that the meetings were here.
I looked for that, I went into the police station and then I saw the other postings on the bulletin board. And I didn't see anything that said the meeting was here. I
Alright,
just saw cars here and,
I'll check with the lady who does the website.
That's
Thank you
something
for
that can be put in the
information.
Champion Times, monthly meeting here, this time, what day? So that every month you look at the paper, you can see when the meetings are.
Probably could be.
They usually have them in the same.
or put it on the school sign out there.
Yeah, tonight.
It does still say,
A nice marquee
Huh?
sign.
it still does say it's down there.
That old wooden ramp sign.
Everywhere.
It's where?
No
It does still say it's down there.
Yeah.
Okay, we will check on that, sir, and, see, give you a call. let you
Yeah, I was
know.
kinda disappointed there wasn't any reply at all on the two written things that
Yeah, Jen, see if you can find that.
I will, I'll take a look, I'll reach out to you this week.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thanks.
Ms. Mines?
Cindy Mines, I live on Glendola. I would like sidewalks, if you're calling ODOT. I think we need sidewalks. I'm driving along 45, kids on their bikes, kids walking. I just think it would be nice to have sidewalks along that way. I left a message with the Akron office of ODOT, Sean Carpenter, I don't know who your contact is. Sean tries to ignore me regularly, so,
The sidewalks are only for Howland.
They are a
Warren City.
world-class community.
Warren City has sidewalks, I grew up in Warren, so,
Yeah, I don't know if you wanna walk on them though.
yeah.
So,
But I would like sidewalks, also, the cemetery stones, you buy the solution, it's called D2, and you spray it on, and you let it alone, and it cleans them up. And a lot of times, even the old ones from the 1800s that you think names and everything are gone, once you clean them up, they're like new, and you can read them. They're just full of dirt. It's about $50 for a gallon. But, if you check out I think it's the Vienna Historical Society website, they have cleaned up just about every cemetery in Vienna. And they have done those, and they do a lot of before and after pictures, and you don't need to have them, whatever you said for vinyl. Usually it's just dirt in there, and you can get them cleaned up.
Ms. Mines, what happened to the Champion Historical Society?
I don't know,
There used to be, the old house right there on Champion Street.
yeah.
That lady put a lot of money into it, then, the old schoolhouse, there was a bunch of people that were involved in the Champion Historical Society, I'm assuming, but,
They didn't do a lot, I'm not trying to be critical, they weren't real active with lots of things, they did try once COVID hit, and, they didn't, yeah, and there's, a lot, it's hard, it's a lot of work, and if you're older and stuff, they don't wanna put that much effort, but.
well, you put a work group together and you get the same people coming all the
Right.
time.
Yes, oh yeah, I mean, they do their sales, they've done things, they really have done things, but it's just, if you don't get new people in there, then it's the same old people in
It's
there
hard
every
to
time.
get new people.
So, but I know that, cause I have some things about Howland history about today.
Now, this D2 that you're talking about, where do you purchase that at?
You have to get it online. I don't think I've never seen it in
And you say Vienna's Historical?
If you look at
Society?
Vienna Historical Society's website, they have put almost every grave on Find a Grave with GPS coordinates and everything. They've done a lot of work.
And it just shows the stones, it don't tell me where I can get,
Yep.
the D, okay.
Oh, no, I don't know if they tells you where to get the D2, they might, I don't know, but it's, cause I've ordered some myself, just a spray bottle, but, to do Howland's.
so as for the sidewalks, had conversations with, people from ODOT probably 4 to 5 years ago. Seems as though, in order to get any funding for sidewalks, and it's gonna sound horrible, but you need to have, heavy injury, pedestrian accidents and fatal pedestrian accidents to start qualifying to get funding for sidewalks, so
So you want me to jump out there?
I
and
guess
hit?
if we're not running people over and killing them, then we must not have a problem up there. But I know that sounds pretty bad, of course, it wasn't, they didn't say it like that, but that's the gist of it all, is that they address, places that have heavy traffic flow and have pedestrian accidents due to the heavy traffic flow. So they invest their dollars there to get the sidewalks, get the pedestrians off the highways, makes sense, but it doesn't at the same time, so, we'll make some calls and ask some questions again to see if there's any funding along.
Or even if, I mean, just because I want them, of course I think they're important, but if the majority of people don't, maybe ODOT could come to a public survey meeting or something for the turning, cause
Well, once again,
I
we
was
spent all,
ready to get out and measure those intersections, cause what is it, you have to have a
spend all the
certain-
money on these crosswalks with no sidewalks, I mean, it just, does
Well,
any
and
of it
then-
make
yeah,
any sense
ludicrous.
to anybody at all, I don't know, but.
But also for the turning, left turning lanes, on occasion, I have been stopped going north. And the light, if you have 3 people turning left
Nobody
at
goes
Champion
anywhere.
Street, I'm back almost to State Road.
Right,
Because in fact, there used to be, depending on how wide the road was, whether you could have, how many lanes and stuff. I was ready to get my tape measure out to see if it was wide enough for 3 lanes, because,
well, be careful you don't get hit, 'cause
well, I was
we
gonna
don't
say, if I
wanna, we
get
don't
hit-
want you to be a statistic for the sidewalks.
If I get hit, make sure you get sidewalks there. So, but that was gonna be something I brought up too, is that maybe ODOT could come have a meeting and a public, I don't know what they call them, public informal meetings or something, so.
Mr. Dozier?
Silas Dozier, 6158 Schaefer Road. Is there any status on the property on 6149 of where we're at with that? Is it going up for sheriff's sale? I've been on the website, it's not there. I've been to call the land bank. They say it's going up for sheriff's sale. There's nothing on the website. I call back, I get a dead end.
I would say at this time, I've heard nothing as far as, either way on that piece of property. I know that they sent our attorney sent a letter out. Well, we received one from San Juan Planacusa, but we secured our, rights in there with, what Mark did, as a lawyer, in case we have to tear it down. Now, I was talking with, Tim, and he says maybe one of the relatives may be interested in buying it now, and he's kinda depressed because of that.
Well, with that being said, there's been a couple of the residents, family members, that's reached out to me. There's one in Michigan. They wrote back to supposed to have answered to the, what do you call them, what's the position you're taking over? The zoning board, I'm sorry, I went brain dead. They sent the letters back to the zoning board here in Champion, and there's at least 3 that nobody wants anything to do with it. Now, whether you received them or not, I don't know, but these people has called me through one person to another, and then they reached out to me because they know I'm actively involved in it, along with my neighbor. He's actively involved in it, so we're getting a dead end road. And the last thing I heard from the zoning, or not zoning, but land bank, it's going up for sheriff's sale. Find another property so you know what you're gonna look at to do when you go down to Trumbull County and sit in the courthouse and find out how you can bid on it and win.
They used to a long time ago, because we bought property down on Brookside there, where they had the sheriff's sale, they'd hold it right at the courthouse.
This is all.
They'd come out and you'd be down on
Get on the steps.
correct.
Okay.
Now, I would be willing to venture that it's all done online.
Okay, I don't know that.
But I can find out for you,
Please.
but like I
There's-
told you
there-
before,
this
and I
is the
told your
problem.
neighbor, with our absence of a zoning inspector and the way things are going right now, don't anticipate it, anything being expedited. I don't
You know
think,
me, I'm
I
gonna
don't
be
think,
pushing it every month, I'm gonna be
that's
up there.
fine.
Here's
I'm
the
gonna be
update.
pushing it
That's
until
fine.
either you guys do something or what.
Here's the update.
Okay,
There are 15 persons or parties that have some legal interest in that property. That's the problem. Pure and simple.
and some people are named and some people are not named.
Yeah,
Well,
there's
I'm-
7 owners of record, but there's one that probate has transferred 1/11th interest to each of 11 heirs.
but see, there's a problem with that, and I've still not got a
No,
definite answer.
that's a court document, right? There's no problem involved with that.
Well, my problem with it is why is there 17, 18, whatever you got there, and there's only one person on the deed?
It's evidently there was something in probate that had it.
Well, I've been to probate, and there's nobody got any recollection on it whatsoever. I just left down there last Tuesday.
This is attorney-client privilege, but attorneys
But it should-
and title searches, and this is what they found. I can't imagine they're making it up, Silas.
I've been down there and I talked to two ladies down there, they looked it up on their computer, nothing there, they looked it up on their desktop or whatever, nothing there. Nobody's got any interest in the property, somebody's sugarcoating something somewhere.
I may be wrong, but I thought that was not gonna go to sheriff's sale until the house was demoed. Am I wrong?
That's what I was told when Rhonda was sitting over here at that last meeting she was here,
That's
because they've
what I
got.
thought.
I haven't heard anything about it.
The police, or not the police department, the fire department has condemned it, health department and EPA's all condemned it. And one person that I've talked with said that they can tear it down and rebuild. Now, I don't know this for a fact, but there's not enough frontage there, what I was told by other individuals, you can't rebuild on that because there's not enough frontage.
I don't know, I haven't heard anything.
And I don't know what the dimensions are, I've tried finding that on your website, and nothing is distinctively showing what the dimension is from this neighbor minus 4 feet, over here, 4 feet from the driveway. I've not found out what that dimension has to be. I mean, I live right across the street from it, I can measure it out and I can find out for sure, but I was told by many contractors, I'd buy it, but I'd have to tear it down and rebuild it. And I said, I told them, I said, that includes tearing out the foundation. You have to go all the way down and start all over. Fill it back in, if you wanna put a basement, so be it, but the rebuild, he says, I did the dimensions, I can't do it, there's not enough frontage.
There's not that much property there, is there, Silas?
What's that?
There's not that much property.
No, not
less
enough
than
frontage to
400.
rebuild. There's only 3 acres, but it goes straight back and then it hooks to the left, behind the creek bed. What's that? 100 feet? Well, there's, I don't know how much what's there, but there may be.
But if the lot's existing, then that's grandfathered in, isn't it?
Not when you tear it down.
Because they built on a lot next to mine, and they only had 80 foot.
Not after you tear it down.
They're busy.
So when you tear that structure down, you have.
And it's been,
There was no structure there, but they can.
Oh, well,
The developer put a house up, you only had 80 foot.
so now did you get a variance? So you got a variance very easily.
yeah.
Polar cable.
Because I bought the lot next to
Because
him.
I bought a lot next to me and tore a house down. I didn't have anything, I
It's
was
going down the little grade going into the
And
ditch.
this one's been condemned by 3 different agencies. You only need one, but you got all 3. If we have to, we have to, I can rebuild this.
No, I did get that.
It's gonna cost us $100,000 to get it redone.
That's fine. I mean, I don't know,
Right
you
now,
gotta,
we're
you
just
gotta come over
saying
4
it's
feet from the existing property line, correct?
Is what I
No, I mean, from
understand.
somebody else's property.
So,
Well, I mean, but if my property butted up against it, you gotta, before you can rebuild, you gotta have a certain amount of distance.
Oh, when
Yeah, good, yeah. What is that? Is that 4 feet or 8 feet or whatever that is? 10 feet?
And then you get hooked into the
They
HOA,
may
and
be able to
they
sway.
don't pay anything.
Hey, thanks for coming back, I appreciate seeing you. I missed you.
Just a whirlwind.
Yeah, it's, I get you.
How does the street get on the list to be repaid?
But, yeah.
Well, I would, yeah.
What street?
First is next year.
I think it's on you.
You know, is it going next year, you know, it should go up for sale.
So-
after.
I'll second the Durst. Durst is in
But
terrible
there's
shape.
one person on the need, why?
Yeah, Dirk gets up to 2020.
Durst, the road they live on.
We'll be doing LPWC stuff probably in the next couple months, but I'm pretty sure Dirk is number one.
We all have an interest in this.
I know, that's not bad.
Are we done this now?
I don't know. What all's involved to be
Still, you go right at quarter.
You know,
Yeah,
They fix it, they'll fix it. You don't have a question?
Next year.
Well, I mean, everybody's having their own meeting there.
But my question was answered, so you can move on, I apologize.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I should have said something.
That's all right. What's up?
Good meeting.
Be safe, Jack.
Okay, yes, sir. You probably see me with my dog out there.
No, I don't want to sign that.
I took the kids out on their bikes.
He hasn't had a Volkswagen Bug sitting in the driveway for a long time. Just that one there. My dad grew up right down that way somewhere.
What about that meeting?
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear that.
I just bought a condo.
I thought it should be.
That's 26,000.
Because I have a lot of stores.
My mother-in-law.
I know.
Up there.
But still, I mean, it's open, you should be